to the morning brief on Channels Television, and time now for our newspaper review segment. And the papers are huge on the handover yesterday of leadership at the Independent National Electoral Commission of Professor Mahmood Yakub. But joining us now to look at a review of the papers is Mr. Igo Akeria. He joins us right here in our Lagos studio. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Okay, good morning. Abuja studio, I guess.
Yes.
You want to say,
Pardon
maybe
me.
you still think you're in Lagos studio.
I'm quite used to being in the Lagos studio.
Absolutely.
So let's start with this Nigeria. This Nigeria, trails a departure from, what's happening on the home front. Take a look at this. No genocide in Nigeria, Senate tells United States. Refutes reports Christians are being targeted in the north. Urges foreign missions to verify claims. It appears as if this story is not going away anytime soon, particularly since, early last week, I think it was even the week before, when the Minister of Information, had cause to report to a particular program content from the United States speaking to genocide against Christians in Nigeria. Why do you think it keeps coming back?
Well, I think it keeps coming back because there have not been adequate attention by the federal government of Nigeria to deal with the issue. Can anyone actually deny that Nigerians are not being killed? I think not just only Christians, but the numbers, if you look at the numbers comparatively, perhaps, particularly looking at the numbers of churches in northern Nigeria that have been extincted, destroyed completely, perhaps that is why the outcry is coming out. So there is a group in the United States that has consistently advocated for a more punitive action by the U.S. government against those responsible for these killings. So this is coming up over and over again because the killings have not stopped. As we speak, we have Kwara State, Kogi State being attacked. Now, whether it is Christians that are being attacked is a different conversation entirely. Villages are being wiped out. This argument is coming up because, as I said earlier, most communities, particularly in northern Nigeria, where you have dominated areas by Christians, actually being wiped out. In Benue State, for example, in Plateau State. So these are recurring issues, and if you look at the numbers of killings, it's quite huge.
That was from Tuesday. This Nigeria, I just caught it now, is actually trailing the minister's resignation. Mr. President, I resign. Tinubu accepts resignation of Minister Nnaji over allegations of certificate forgery. Ex-minister blames political detractors. Yes, that's it, this Nigeria. Okay. So go ahead.
Okay, well, for the resignation of Nnaji, I saw it coming once the news broke that the minister's degree certificate in microbiology is controversial, is questionable. I knew that he was not going to come out smelling of roses, but it took so long for him to even resign. I saw a spirited effort that he put up. Even yesterday, I saw a gentleman who introduced himself as a media consultant to the minister, putting up a spirited defense, but he was not answering the question directly. If you have a degree certificate and the registrar of the university and the vice chancellor are disowning your certificate, now that leaves anybody in a quandary as to why you insist that your certificate is credible. Even for not just even the degree certificate, it also affected this NYSC certificate. It's unfortunate that we have public office holders who parade questionable certificates, in fact, even at the highest level. I remember in 1997 or 98 when I was a middle-level reporter with the news magazine, the News Tempo PM News. Incidentally, Bayo Nanuga, who is the spokesperson to the president, was the editor-in-chief at the time. A lead report in the news, the face of a liar, Salisu Buhari, he was Speaker of the House of Representatives at the time. He also paraded the certificate. He claimed that he got that certificate from a university in Chicago. The news did an in-depth investigation report and came out that he actually forged that certificate. Eventually, he resigned when he owned up that the certificate was forged. I think beyond the resignation of Minister Nnaji, I also expect a follow-up by security agencies. This morning, he should be taken in for further questioning. It's not the little people, the ordinary Nigerians, when they forge documents, the police go after them. If it is true, it has been confirmed that this minister has forged his degree certificate, then he should face the law. The law is clear on forgery. And of course, all the monies he has been paid as Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, I think he should refund all those money, because he was paid all those money on the basis of false pretense, false presentation, and forgery.
But let's assume
this
without
cannot be the end of the matter.
That, perhaps, the minister is, has honest intentions and can in fact defend that certificate. What about, their stance that there's a lot of political undertones at the, root of this, that the investigating platform, media organization, has been induced by the state government, which sees him as an obstacle to the 2020, the next general election, his ambition in the next general election. What are your thoughts on all of that?
Well, he's in the Federal High Court now. He has filed a suit. I mean, maybe the court will determine all of that. But I doubt if I graduated from the Nigerian Institute of Journalism, for example, and then maybe I've been targeted by my political opponents, and they say I don't have a degree from that institution. Well, it is then up to the institution and myself to prove that I do have that degree. So it is not enough for him to use political opponents as, I see that as alibi. That this is my opinion, because once, if the university, now, is it saying that the VC is compromised, the registrar is compromised, the NYC too is compromised? I mean, these are questions that, because when the news broke, I was looking at all of the issues. The University of Nigerian Nsukka does not issue the NYC certificate. These are two different independent institutions. So that was why I became worried that if two of the certificates you are having that entitles you to the position that you are holding are being questioned, I mean, for me, that speaks volumes. Well, it is still an open story. It is a running story. The court will have to do, we examine and evaluate all the evidence before it. And then Nigerians will know who is telling lies here. If the minister indeed is right to say that political opponents are targeting maybe the governor of Enugu State. I do not know. He's already governor. What does the governor want? He's already governor. He is a minister. I don't think the governor will want to leave Enugu State to come and become minister. So I do not know where, or that doesn't tidy up, in my view.
And your earlier position is also quite instructive, that investigators should follow this up, question him. But can we determine this by, past treatments of cases of certificate controversy? But Mr. Akeria, there's one story yet again on the front page of this Nigeria that we cannot ignore. Is at the bottom strip. Benin Palace rejects Iyaloja for Edo markets, warns against cultural imposition. This has been in the running in the last few days. How do you see this playing out? And what is the root of this, story for you?
I think this story is tied to the daughter of the Mr. President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who carries the title of Iyaloja General of Nigeria. That is the head of the markets in Nigeria. I think it all started in Lagos when the president's mother, Alhaja Mogaji, was the Iyaloja of Lagos State. I think the president then was governor of Lagos State. That was when this title became so popular, Iyaloja. With the emergence of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the president of Nigeria, I think the daughter then also took over from the mother and has decided to extend her market empire to Edo State. Edo State has a very rich traditional culture. I wonder why she picked Edo State. Edo State resisted British invasion, British colonization. We saw the British expedition in Edo State that led to the deportation of Oba Veramed, in 1776, if I get that date right. So Edo State will not, particularly anything that has to do with the hierarchy, the hegemony, the power of the Oba of Benin. It will never be tolerated. Do not forget, in in the past elections in Edo State, even the president was resisted when he was told that he cannot forced on Edo State what is forced in Lagos State. So anyone should have seen this coming, that Edo State would resist anything that has to do with imposition of a woman with a title, the Yaloja of Edo State. I mean, for me, I think it's an aberration, and people should just know their limits.
All right. There are more papers this morning trailing other stories. Kayode.
Oh, yes. Well, let's take a look at the Vanguard newspaper, Mr. Carrier. Don't worry, we'll boost that up so you can hear me well. Vanguard leads with a story they started with yesterday, and it's about roads. So it's part 2 of federal highways of horror. Motorists, travelers in anguish cry out for urgent government intervention. Lack of funds hampering our intervention. That's FEMA. So today they're focusing on Southeast and North. And the roads you see there on the front page, eroded road section in Bauchi, failed road in Niger State, Azomini Road in Ukwa East, Abia to Akwa Ibom State. These roads look like, as I said yesterday, something from the 1900s, not even 1990 anymore, because I don't want to imagine that these roads actually exist. But hey, that is the reality of a lot of Nigerians who have to ply this route. Mr. Carrier, you travel a lot. I mean, how hard is it to fix these roads?
Well, I didn't hear a word of what Kayode was saying, really. I think there's a technical problem.
Oh dear, Mr. Carrier, don't worry, we'll resolve that. But let me toss this to Bukola. So Bukola, you can go ahead from there.
Kayode was trailing the front page of the Vanguard newspaper, which focuses on the concern, or more, appropriately, the agony that travelers face, when they travel on these roads. The picture tells the story, Mr. Carrier.
Yes, I saw this report in the Vanguard. You do not need to read the report in the Vanguard to know that across the country, whether it is the northwest, northeast, south, maybe southwest is a bit better with road connection. But as you move away from the southwest to south-south, virtually all the roads in the south-south are death traps. They are very deplorable. The southeast is worse, and then of course the north used to have some measure of good roads, but lately the roads have all gone bad. So the Vanguard has done a very beautiful story this morning. It captures the feeling and the agony and the plight that most Nigerians face as they travel across the country. It is so pathetic. I traveled to the south-south. I just returned from Delta State. You cannot, the train is not working at the moment. And those who travel by road, if you have to leave the nation's capital, Abuja here, maybe 7 a.m., you should expect to get to Warri about midnight, 12 noon, for a journey that ordinarily should be 5 or 6 hours. So that is how it is. As we move on to the southeast, it is worse. The Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, is from Ebonyi State. I read part of the Vanguard report is that even all the roads, almost all the roads in Ebonyi State are bad. But you see the minister on TV every time doing some kind of photo ops and optics, saying that the roads are looking better, and a road, I think the Port Harcourt-Aba Expressway was commissioned by the federal, by him or somebody 2 days ago, and it dominated, the front pages and the media space. I mean, it is not enough to do these photo ops when Nigerians are actually in agony. From Kogi State, if you leave the nation's capital, once you get to Lokoja, that is the farthest you can go. From Lokoja to Kenya, and as you go to Edo State, it is clearly impassable. The road has completely failed, and so it is with most federal roads across the country. As as the government says they are getting more resources, I would think that a large chunk of these resources should be devoted to fixing these roads so that Nigerians can have a breath of life. We are approaching Christmas right now. I don't know how the government is going to handle all of that as Nigerians travel to their respective states and communities to celebrate the Yuletide. So indeed, the Vanguard story captures the feelings of Nigerians this morning.
And this is the second day running, the Vanguard focusing on roads. Yesterday it was Benin, Sapele, and today there's Bauchi. There's also, one other road in the north, in the southeast in Abia. That's on the right-hand side of your screen as you look at the camera focusing on the Vanguard newspaper. And there are failing bridges also.
Absolutely.
Mr. Keria, it appears as if the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road is not suffering, a deficit of funding, as these roads are. What are your thoughts on this?
It's about priorities and interests. I don't know why the president appears to be so focused and interested on the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road. I don't know. I doubt how many Nigerians will go travel to
By the way, my producer is drawing my attention also to Calabar, Odukpani, Akwa Ibom Road, that is also in a deplorable state.
Absolutely very, very deplorable. You mentioned Sapele, for the part 1 report. I'm from Sapele myself, you cannot travel from Sapele to Warri. It's completely cut off. It's failed. One part, I can see that Dave Umahi says that they are doing cement road where, that can last for 50, 100 years. And one part of the road has been done a very short distance, that run from my community at Deji to one small place. And then the entire stretch of the other road from Sapele to Warri is completely failed. Then to Benin's failed. The Calabar, the Odukpani road that you talked about is completely impossible. You go through there, you can't dare go there. I think that is what has also accounted for the spate of kidnappings, armed robbery, and violent crimes on the road. Because if the roads are not good, people will just lay siege on road users, passengers, and then abduct people. So it's a complex issue, and I think the government should at least play down on the coastal road and focus on this eternal federal. Let's fix these ones first. Then we can go to the coastal road. There's nothing wrong with fixing a coastal road, but let Nigerians have the ability to at least be able to move around freely first within the existing roads. It should be fixed before we can then talk about building a new coastal road that is gulping trillions and trillions of naira. I think that is not a good focus.
Indeed. I wonder if we can now hear Kayode, or you can hear him now. Kayode, let's try this again.
I don't think.
You have the Guardian.
Okay.
Okay, so let me quickly take the Guardian newspaper as we wrap up now. It trails another more important subject, and that's security. Listen to this. Anxiety lingers over insecurity, fate of displaced persons. Mr. Igo Akiria, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, eternally displaced persons, in this case, not persons now because they are known, eternally displaced Nigerians in their own country is becoming very, very worrisome. From Borno State, Sokoto State, Katsina State, Plateau State, Benue, these are all, apart from being killing fields, you now have huge numbers of Nigerians that are in primary schools, in dilapidated buildings, which we have tagged as centers for IDPs. It is worrisome. Well, this morning I'll commend Professor Babagana Zulum of the governor of Borno State. He is really putting a lot of effort to rehabilitate communities and put people back to their communities. But of course, Boko Haram is resurging and is attacking those communities. I commend our troops, the security force. They are doing their best, but whether their best is sufficient is another conversation. Well, it is worrisome. There is no country that I know of, and that is why I read a report last night where they say Nigeria is becoming one of the most dangerous places to live in. We cannot demarcate our country, but the reality on the ground is that even when it's Abuja here, even safe, we saw a report of an Arise reporter from Shuku who also died as a result of armed robbery attack. People are being kidnapped from their homes and being attacked on the roads. That is the nation's capital. You dare not travel on the road, maybe from here to interstate travel. So generally, people are having a lot of problems and communities are being attacked. People are being completely wiped out from their communities and sent to makeshift IDP camps. It is a worrisome development. I'm sure it will be gaining the government's attention as we move forward.
That is the expectation. And we must anchor at this point, and thank you very much for your insights on the newspaper review segment. Mr. Igo Akira is a member Nigerian Guild of Editors, and a senior journalist. Thank you for coming.
It's always a pleasure.
Program, sir.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure.
We'll take a moment now, and when we return, we'll begin our first conversation. Stay with us, we'll be right back.